Today we're going to learn about how to use the feedback from our writing conference to complete a good copy of our procedural writing. The first thing that we need to do is go over the rough copy. So this is an example that I wrote about how to build an obstacle course for dash and dot. You'll notice that in my conference I forgot a capital with my name and I had an uppercase letter. So if this has happened to you, Mrs. McDonald would have written on top of it or circled the letters that you need to fix. If we go to the first line, you'll notice that my title was dash and dot. I did not have a capital letter for dash or dot, and Mrs. McDonald changed it to a capital because it is the name of the robot. So when I do my good copy, I'm going to have to change that to a capital letter. I had also forgot to write a complete sentence. I wrote obstacle course. Mrs. McDonald and I decided that we were going to add for my good copy. The goal is to make a obstacle course for dash. The second thing we talked about in our conference is that I had made a list of things we need. Need 5 cubes, you need 1 teddy bear, and you need Lego. We had talked about in a procedural writing how you often see what you need, and then you have 2 dots right here. This is called a colon. And when you see a colon, it'll often be followed by a list of things you need. So in my good copy, I'm going to put a bullet, which is a dot, and I'm going to write what I need, the items. So instead of writing a full sentence, I need 5 cubes, I need a teddy bear, and I need Lego, I'm going to put bullet, 5 cubes, bullet, 1 teddy bear, bullet, Lego. The next thing I said is that I said go straight and first turn at Lego blocks, then go straight to the teddy bear. Then it's done. In my writing conference, Mrs. McDonald also said that I need to write steps, and I need to number my steps. Number 1, go straight and first turn at Lego blocks. I forgot to put a period at the end of my sentence, so Mrs. McDonald added it for me. I know that I have to have a capital at the beginning, so we talked about that as well. So I'll have to change that to a capital. Then go straight to the teddy bear and add a period at the end of that sentence. Then it's done. The other thing Mrs. McDonald said is to add a tip. So this is a tip that could help whoever's building the obstacle course be successful. So an example of a tip could be, don't let Dash run away on you, or turn down Dash's speed so that it's easier to get her through the course. So on my good copy, I'm going to add a tip as well. So now that we went through the rough copy and we did the writing conference with Mrs. McDonald, I'm going to show you how to take her feedback and use it to help you improve your writing for your good copy. So we're going to start with the name. And so you'll notice that I have to change the lowercase to a capital M and the uppercase R to a lowercase r. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So name is Mrs. Mac. I also have to change the title to a capital D for dash and a capital D for dot. Dash and dot. The next thing I have to add is I have to look at the goal. So the goal is to make an obstacle course for dash. Now originally I just wrote obstacle course, and that's not a full sentence, so we talked about that. So on the first line, I'm going to write my goal is to make an obstacle. I'm going to go to the next line. Course for dash. And dash is a name, so it should have a capital D. The next thing I need to include in my procedural writing is a list of the tools or materials that I need to build my obstacle course. So remember we talked about using a colon and making a list of things we need using bullets. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So what you need is the title, colon, and I'm going to put a bullet here, 5 cubes. Now when I'm going to the next line to add the next bullet, teddy bear. And I'm going to need Lego. The next thing I need in my procedural writing is the steps. So my next subtitle is going to be steps. And I'm going to put a colon because the list is going to follow. I'm going to also put a number. And this helps sequence my steps so that whoever's following the directions knows which step comes first. So the first step would be to go straight and first turn at the Lego blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and write that right now. So you can see that I wrote my first step down, and it's go straight and first turn at the Lego blocks. And Mrs. McDonald told me to double check for capitals and periods. So on my good copy, I made sure to begin the sentence with a capital letter and end with proper punctuation with a period at this point. Because I ran out of room on my page, I'm not going to go down and continue the directions here. I'm going to flip it over and continue writing them on the line. So I'm going to go up to the top, and this is the second step, so I'm going to number it number 2. And I'm going to write the second step, which is then go straight to the teddy bear, remembering my capitals and periods. Now my closing sentence is then it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. Then it's done. Now Mrs. McDonald also told me to add a tip, and we talked about some ideas for a tip. So my tip that I'd like to add is to turn Dash's speed down while you're doing the obstacle course. So I'm going to add to make it easier, turn down Dash's speed. So using the feedback from our writing conference, we have now completed the good copy of our obstacle course.